Do I really gotta make a video on this? Yo, what's good, everybody out there on YouTube? This is your man Shattuck Stick, and today is not a good day. Alright, so I was gonna make a video on this yesterday, or I'm recording this yesterday, I guess, but uploading it the next day because I sat down and I just needed to sit here and look at this with a straight head. Now, Polygon made a review of Sonic Forces. Nothing, insane here in terms of just, they're releasing a review. They review video games, but they gave the game a 5 out of 10. And a lot of people are either saying, don't look at this, or I was right, Sonic Forces is a terrible game. And I just have to say, let's sit down and actually look at the reasons why they gave Sonic Forces a 5 out of 10. I came into this with open arms, maybe Sonic Forces really is as bad as they say, or is not as good as we all were hoping it to be. Now, they open up the article with Sonic Forces, the latest game in the Sonic the Hedgehog series by Sega's internal Sonic Team division, fails to be remarkable on nearly every level. Which, there's nothing inherently wrong with them saying that. If the game fails to be remarkable, it fails to be remarkable. It fails to be a good game. Nothing wrong with that. But it goes on to say it doesn't advance the series design. Nothing wrong with that. Nor does it handle classic 2D action as well as the recent Mania. Nothing wrong with that. To its credit, it does at least change the franchise's status quo in a meaningful way. With this latest Sonic sequel, the line between the series canon and its fan fiction has ceased to exist. You can see where this one is going. Alright, so it starts off in saying the game starts wobbly, blah blah blah, and it goes on to start off saying the game is shallow and that it just doesn't play well overall. It says the game is somehow too hard and too easy at the same time here, though. It says that too many things get in the way, but that not much gets in the way of Sonic. There's not really much to get in the way of Sonic, but somehow things get in the way. So I don't understand where they land here with this. You're saying the game is too hard and too easy. And when I say this, I'm gonna go right into the next point they make, that the scores score you too hard. I've heard other people who have gotten Forces early, which there's a lot of people who've gotten the game early, that have told me that the game is actually not that bad. It actually is pretty decent at the least. And a lot of them have told me that the game is rather easy. It's one of the easier Sonic games, and that it's not very hard to get an S rank. But here, the reviewer is saying it's extremely hard to get an S rank. And this is coming from a guy who's played the demo. It wasn't that hard to get to the end of the demo. I think I got near the end, and I just didn't reach the goal ring. So that's coming from the experience I've had with Forces in any form or facet. And the tutorial stage alone was actually pretty decent. It wasn't it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was alright, especially for a tutorial stage. And they make a fact here to say, it focuses on the gotta go fast system too much because they're upset that the game doesn't, that the game docks off points for you taking longer, which is a common thing in video games, especially platformers and especially Sonic games. This isn't the first game a Sonic game has done this. It's been doing this since the beginning of the franchise. For you to get upset that the game docks off points for time is actually stupid. That is actually stupid. Then the game goes to criticize the bosses, which I'm no problem with, but they get upset because of the fact that you have a certain window of time that you have to hit the boss. You have to time your attacks. You're not just able to sit there and spam. Now, it says that it's a lot of trial and error, but they say that the game relies too much on giving you a window in which to make use of targeting the enemy, which I thought that's how boss battles were supposed to work. You're supposed to give the player a specific time window to attack the enemy. They're not supposed to be able to sit there and repeatedly attack the enemy. That's the one thing where 2D platformers have trouble, is because you're able to damage boost. Like Sonic Mania, you're able to damage boost in that game for the most part. There's a lot of portions of the game where you just don't have to wait. If you've ever seen me play Sonic Mania, what I'll do is I'll make sure I have at least one ring. I'll go in and then I'll just body the boss that I'm fighting. And that's just one of the things that it eliminates. It's just kind of sad seeing that there's this trend in the gaming community, or for reviewers specifically, or gaming journalists, to get upset that a game is too hard. You know what I mean? Because we've gotten games like Crash Bandicoot that it was too hard for me as a reviewer, so I give it a 6 out of 10. Like, you have places like GameSpot calling it the Dark Souls of platformers or something like that. That's ridiculous. And then it gets, the reviewer gets upset that you have things in the background that come in the foreground to add a challenge to the game, that are adding the obstacles and enemies and stuff that you wanted earlier to attack you. So what is it that you actually want? And then again, once we get down to the creator character portion of the review, now I can't really speak on the story before we go on, because I didn't want to look at leaks, because I didn't want to spoil myself on the story. It's a Sonic game nonetheless, and I'm a Sonic fan. While the story isn't the main attraction, Sonic Force's story was looking pretty, decent. Sonic games aren't really over the top with the story. The only one being over the top with the story was, Sonic Unleashed, but still, I really like to see, a decent Sonic story. If the story in Sonic Forces is bad, it's whatever. That's not something that hinders the experience in a Sonic game. We have games like Sonic Unleashed, and we also have games with stories like Sonic Generations. Let's just get over this for a minute. Sonic Unleashed was panned by critics. They hated that game, but they loved Generations, which had an awful story. Not even really a story to begin with. But let's go on and talk about the creator character. They actually, give the creator character credit where, they believe it's due. But at the same time, they try to make a point that the creator character in and of itself is a negative point. They try to make it seem like, oh, you want a creator character in a Sonic game? You must be one of those crazy Sonic fans. Oh, now if you don't know what I'm talking about here, there's just been this culture in the Sonic community of fan art of people making fan characters and original characters, which isn't inherently bad, but it's just been one of those things that has either spiraled out of control because you have a younger audience in the fan base that has also participated in this, so it's created a lot of cringy things, so that accounts for the entire community as a whole somehow. And reviewers like to use this against the Sonic community or people who like Sonic games. The sheer fact that, I have to make this a point in the video that they just attack the Sonic community just because we have creative characters in this game is sad. It's actually pathetic. Just because a Sonic game has creative characters doesn't mean that you should pan the community just because this game has creative characters in it. If a Sonic game does this, it's bad, but other games doing it is completely fine. Let's take Final Fantasy 15, which is having its Comrades update the same day Sonic Forces releases. That has creative characters, but people don't hate that. They actually love the fact that they can make their own characters in the Final Fantasy 15 universe. Or you have games like Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which has also been known for its original character community that haven't been panned because guess what? It's not Sonic, it's Dragon Ball. So it's okay because it's Dragon Ball, but when Sonic does the same thing, it's a problem. Now people, don't get me wrong. So guys, if Sonic Forces is a bad game, it's a bad game. But this article just kind of irked me on so many levels. Not even an article, it's a review. This review just kind of irked me because it just seemed so contradicting in and of itself, because it went from saying the game was too easy to too hard, or it just basically pooped on the Sonic community as a whole because it has creative characters. It's things like this that just made me want to make this video, and I had to actually sit down and calm myself down. Not even like calm myself down, it's just like when I was recording this video, I got to the point sometimes where I was just like, I was just ranting too much. I want to have this video have some type of coalescence, unlike this review. But anyways, guys, tell me how you feel. Do you agree? If you have the game, do you agree with what this reviewer says at all? Do you feel like they are completely in the wrong? Do you agree with some parts? If you don't have forces, how is this affecting if you will buy forces or not, or how is this affecting how you will look at the game when you're first coming into it? This has been your man Shaddick Stick. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video out with your friends, and I'm out of here. Peace. Kiss, kiss.